Here we are at question 10 of LSAT PrepTest 158, first logical reasoning section, section 2. As always, we're going to select a highlighting tool, and we're going to read the question stem first. In this case, it reads, the historian's argument is most vulnerable to criticism on the grounds that it blank. So we're just going to highlight most vulnerable to criticism, understanding that this is one of our big four most predictable question types, where we're being asked to identify a flaw in the argument. So we will read the historian's argument at this time, seeking the conclusion, which we'll need to highlight, and then we'll mentally predict what a potential flaw might be if we can. So reading the historian statements, in the 14th and 15th centuries, the Swahili civilization of East Africa built tombs with large pillars and paneled facades. Such structures are widespread among the Oromo people of Somalia and Kenya, but are unknown among any other people with whom the Swahili civilization had contact. This indicates that Swahili culture was to some extent influenced by Oromo culture. So hopefully our conclusion is relatively apparent. It's this final sentence that states, this indicates, meaning the information in the paragraph, indicates that Swahili culture was to some extent influenced by Oromo culture. And what we see here is a statement about when the Swahili built their tombs that were similar to the Oromo. But it doesn't actually say when the Oromo built their tombs. And there could be two possible flaws here. We could have a situation wherein there's some other people that influenced both the Oromo and the Swahili, or it could actually be a reverse relationship whereby the Swahili actually influenced the Oromo people if the Oromo people started building these structures after the 14th and 15th century. So we want to have those two flaws in our mind as mental predictions before we go to the answer choices now and look for reasons to eliminate. And of course, highlight those reasons with our highlighting tool as we identify them. So starting with choice A, fails to address adequately the possibility that the Oromo people did not use the structures as tombs. Well, it's about the structures being present, not necessarily what the Oromo did with them. So choice A has no clear impact on the conclusion, and if it's true, doesn't necessarily weaken the conclusion. So we should be able to eliminate choice A rather readily. Next, choice B concludes simply because one event occurred earlier than another event, that the first event caused the second event. Well, here we don't actually state in the historian's argument when the Oromo built these structures. So there isn't actually a chronology presented, even though chronology may be part of the flaw. So you have to be careful as you evaluate these answer choices. But there were no relationships derived in the paragraph about the order of one versus another event. So we can eliminate choice B for that reason. Next, choice C draws a restricted conclusion from premises that provide stronger support for a much broader conclusion. Well, there's no indication about the breadth of the conclusion being possibly greater, so we should be able to eliminate choice C rather immediately. Next, choice D takes for granted that there was no third civilization responsible for creating the first tombs of the kind found in both the Oromo and Swahili cultures. Now, this is close to what we predicted, but it's not about them being literally the first tombs, because the Oromo could have found the first tombs and then passed it along to the Swahili culture. It's not saying that it's responsible for all of them, it's only the first. So this nuance is why we can eliminate choice D. And then choice E takes for granted that the Oromo people began constructing tombs with large pillars and paneled facades earlier than the Swahili civilization did. And ding, 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 that is exactly one of the two flaws that we kind of had mentally predicted. And of course, choice E is the correct answer for number 10.